evening news on Ejapoma Radio. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter, Japoma Radio GH, on YouTube, King of Kings Media. You can also download the app on your Google Play Store. Coming up, NPP address public on e-levy. Economic woes not entirely government fault. Stephen Amwa. Ghana Airport Company MD Yao Kwakwa sacked. There's many more coming on your way. I am Finate. Details shortly. Welcome back. The news in details. The governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, is holding a press briefing to discuss government electronic transaction levy, e-levy. The presser is being mandated by NPP Director of Communication, Yabuabin Asamoah, at the party's headquarters. Meanwhile, government is considering the reintroduction of the electronic transaction levy at 1.5%, downward from the initial 1.75%. This following criticism from the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, and some members of the general public. The Inshayasu MP, Stephen Amwa, has intimated that government cannot be blamed entirely for the current economic woes of the country, whilst admitting that Ghana's debt to GDP is could be better. The outspoken politician said the economy took a big hit by COVID-19 pandemic, a situation which, according to him, is beyond government control. Where our problem is today is our debt to GDP, but you cannot blame this government entirely unless you don't understand the issues or you are not being fair. We have had over 22 months of impaired productivity. Naturally, we've been in the country for so many months. Government has to pay public and civic service workers without them going to work because of COVID, he stated. Now on to some local news. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has terminated the appointment of Yao Kwakwa, the mining director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, in a letter dated February 4, 2022, to the ministry said, per a letter number OS P127222104, dated on January 31, 2022, the president has directed the sacking of Mr. Kwakwa. Kweku Ofori Asamoah added in this urge, kindly take the necessary step to give effect to the directive. I count on your cooperation. It is unclear why Mr. Kwakwa was sacked, but in last few weeks, the airport company and newly established private jet company operated by Magdan Aviation have been involved in a back and forth publicly. On January 1st, the GACL ordered the new launched Magdan Aviation to suspend the use of the Kotoka International Airport until further notice. Still on the local news. The Ministry of Health held press briefing to inform the general public on the sector outlook for the rest of the year. The session was addressed by the Health Minister, Kweku Ajimaimenu. The presser was also mandated by Deputy Information Minister, Fatimatu Abubakar. We take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that break. Now moving on to some business news. The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has assured that it is on a course to automate its system to block or locate in the collection of revenue in the country. This following the failure of the authority to account for the auctioning of 1,719 confiscated vehicles during the period 2015 to 2017 in the recent Auditor General's report. It's in 2018 report on ministries, departments and agencies, MDAS, the Auditor General disclosed that the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, could not provide proper document action on the reserve price list of the vehicles auction sales report and internal audition report covering the auctioning of 1,719 confiscated vehicles, which amounted to the loss of over 25 million between 2015 and 2017. At the Public Account Committee sitting in Parliament on Monday, the Commissioner of the Custom Division of the GRA, Colonel Kojo Damwa, retired, in their defense explained that since his outfit was using a manual auctioning system at the time, taking and keeping records of the process was not done properly, hence the GRA's inability to properly account for the vehicle. Now on to some international news. A trucker protest that has charged the street of colonial capital for weeks has spread to cities across the world and impeded access to the beside land crossing between the United States and Canada, as drivers and their supporters demonstrating against vaccine mandates and pandemic control measures. The so-called Freedom Convoy began at the end of January in Ottawa as at object to a vaccine donated requiring truckers entering Canada to enter be full vaccinated or forced testing and quarantine requirement. We take a break. When we come back is the entertainment news. Welcome back. Entertainment news. Rapper Sarkodie says he does not believe Ghanaians are kicking against the proposal electrician transaction levy, e-levy, because it is bad. According to him, many are not support of the levy because citizens do not get to enjoy the benefits that come with paying tax, unlike their counterparts in the West. Sarkodie explained that he pays tax outside the borders of Ghana, but does not complain because he and other taxpayers see the impact of their taxes. He stated that there are systems in place and avenues available to taxpayers to earn more. And that's the end of the evening news. But before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. NPP addressed public on e-levy. Economic woes not entirely government fault. Stephen Amoah. Ghana Airport Company MD Yao Kwakwa sacked. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, Japoma Radio GH. Download the app on the Google Play on your phone. YouTube is King of Kings Media. I am Josephine Nate. Have a good evening and stay tuned.